Hello, pickup owners! Have you ever walked out to your GMC Sierra and thought, I wish this truck had 300 less horsepower, and it was a Subaru? No? Well, Subaru has the truck for you. It's called the BRAT, and here's one. And here's another. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. I'm reviewing the Subaru BRAT, which was a truck manufactured by Subaru in the late 1970s and 80s. But before I get into all the key details about this heavy-duty pickup truck, I think we should start with the name. Now, BRAT is actually an acronym for Bi-Drive Recreational All-Terrain Transport. Bi-Drive being what Subaru used to call all-wheel drive. But wait a second, Bi-Drive All-Terrain Transport? That doesn't spell brat, that spells BRAT. Before we get started with the BRAT, let's explain exactly what it is. In the 70s, the pickup market was hot. Chevy, Mazda, Nissan, Toyota, they all had trucks. And Subaru wanted a truck too. The problem is, Subaru didn't quite have as much money as those companies on account of the fact that just a few years earlier, they were selling a microcar the size of a refrigerator. So what Subaru did was, they took the rear end off an existing station wagon and voila! Pickup truck. Only there was a problem. At the time, and still today, there was a tariff on imported pickup trucks known as the chicken tax. To get around the tariff, Subaru installed seats in the bed, facing backwards. In the eyes of the tax man, this transformed the BRAT from a pickup truck to a nice family vehicle, and it meant Subaru didn't have to pay the tax. Now, I was going to give a review of these back seats, but unfortunately I can't. That's because the owner of this particular BRAT, in order to get insurance, had to sign an affidavit with his insurance company promising that no one would ever ride in the BRAT's death trap back seats. So instead, I'm going to show you a few things that I find a bit odd about the BRAT. Like the air conditioning vent that inexplicably stretches across the entire passenger side of the dashboard, and the side step that provides easy access to the bed, and the pistol grips on the rear seats, which makes them look like ejector seats. And let's be honest, if you rolled over, they were. And this dainty little interior chime sound that sounds like it's trying to remind you, don't forget Tinkerbell. And the speedometer that optimistically went up to 120 miles per hour. And the four-wheel drive handle, which looks like it should be providing thrust to a Cessna. And the T-tops, which can increase the front seat occupant's danger to almost the same level as the rear seat's occupant's danger. And then there's the general look, which says, I'm a pickup too, I swear. Now let's talk engine. Like all manly pickups, the early BRAT was powered by a 1.6-liter four-cylinder that made roughly 67 horsepower. Of course, Subaru quickly realized how underpowered this engine would make the BRAT, and fitted later models with a far more advanced 1.8-liter four-cylinder that made about 80 horsepower. The BRAT's engines were so small that there was enough room left in the engine bay for Subaru to mount the truck's spare tire. So how slow is the BRAT? Here it is under full acceleration. Here goes. Woo! 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 30, that's 30. But despite how slow it was, I had a lot of fun driving the BRAT. The shifter is surprisingly slick. I love this thing. It's so old and little. What a great car. Just cruising along in my Subaru. Got my friends in the back. Oh look, another BRAT. What are the odds? After I finished having my fun with the BRAT, it was time to give it back. But in the end, I love the BRAT because it's just one of those unusual cars that you'll never see again in the wake of family this and safety that and crossover this and three-row that. Although actually, Subaru made a newer version of the BRAT in the mid-2000s when they chopped the back off the Outback, turned it into a pickup, and called it the Baja. And that just proves that Subaru is one crazy group of Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. Iffy, haw.